Hey guys, Lizardlea here for more Tiny Stockings candy cane. I just keep getting ones on the side. It's this one right here, and it focused, so we're good. I finished the piece of fabric that I bought at Joann's, and I bought this off Amazon. There's a lot of fabric in here, you guys. I'm excited. So I have this one and one more, and then I'm done with the Christmas ornaments. Or, well, at least the ones for my work people. I might try and make some for family and friends, so you might get those before I go back to For Heavenly Beasts. Yeah, this has been a weird season, a weird year. I spent one birthday party with my family. All the others were over Zoom. Yeah. So. And one of the birthday parties over Zoom was my own. So. Okay, I'm rambling. I'm going to go cross stitch. Sorry. Alrighty. So, I just listened to my intro as I'm editing this, and I have done way more cross stitches than just one more after this. Okay, it's not way more, but it was like 12 or more, something like that. Like there's still a few more Christmas ornaments, you guys. Well, you know, we'll get there. I'm chugging through it. I'm doing 3 videos a week now. Like, I did not want to do this, but I am. So, yeah. But, you know, it's already February, and I still have a bunch more for Christmas. So, yeah. Sorry. Anyways, I ended the narration of my last video with my least favorite teacher, and so, funny enough, the next question, number 3, is who was your favorite teacher and why? And I have had very many good teachers, so that one's harder to pick. But ultimately, I think I would have to go with Mr. Theck. He was my pre-calc and calculus teacher. And you guys, that man, every Saturday morning, he would go to the school, and anybody who wanted to join could. And we would sit there, you know, for an hour or more and just go over problems, go over questions that we had. And I mean, he would do it if there were only 2 of us there. He would do it if there were 12 of us there. And he stayed until we all felt comfortable. And I mean, he would have, oh crap, what was it called? Oh, I don't remember what it was called. It wasn't actually a class. We would just sit there for a class period and study and read and, you know, do homework and whatnot. What the heck was that called? There was a term for it. I don't remember. Seminar? Did we call it seminar? I don't think that's right. I don't know. Oh my goodness. My mind is completely blanking, you guys. But anyways, so that free period, it was almost always the seniors that he had in his calculus class. And, you know, we'd go over problems. So, like, he was just so dedicated. And he lived off base. So it was a pretty long drive for him. Those of us in his calculus class, most of us lived on base, so it was really simple. But that's, you know, that's the kind of teacher that just blows my mind, because I don't think I'd be willing to do that, especially on a teacher's salary. And I have him added on Facebook. Like, I'm friends with him. Every time he posts things, I'm always like, oh, yay, Mr. Theck's doing great. It's so nice. Who else would I put up there? Trinetta Jones. She was my English honors teacher my sophomore year of high school. Yeah, it was. She didn't do AP. She did honors. Super difficult. Like, she was. Her work was some of the most difficult. You know, like, it was just. I had to put in the most effort and time with everything I did for her class over others. But I ultimately, I would say that paid off. Because I'm sure I've told this already. I took a Tolkien class. He's the author of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings and all of that in college. And at that point, I was an accounting major. So numbers, numbers, numbers. Every single other person in that class, other than I think one or two people, were English majors. And they told me that this teacher has a reputation, and you know, you have to turn in a rough draft, a second rough draft, and then your final. And that's the majority of your grade. And they all told me, like, the first draft, you're gonna fail. The second draft, you might get a D or a C. And then you'll be lucky if you get a B on the final. And I got a C on my first draft. So I was like, are you guys stupid? Like, do you not know how to write a paper? Or am I just that lucky that I had a teacher like Miss Jones who taught me how to write? Because it was a breeze for me. And I will say, he did deduct some points because he misunderstood. He thought I was talking about one scene, I was talking about another. So I tried to clear that up in my second draft, and he got it eventually. But yeah, like, I learned a lot from her. And she was just, honestly, I really liked her. I still like her. I also have her added on Facebook. I was really good friends with her daughter. Still am. I also have her on Facebook. Both of her daughters, I think, actually. Yeah, it was just, it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. It was difficult. It was not easy by any means, nor was the calculus class. But I feel like both of them in the end were completely worth it. I came out of those classes, you know, a better student, a better person, just smarter. And I can't say that for all of my teachers and all of my classes. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna move on, sorry. I keep talking about classes. I'm sure I'm boring the heck out of people. Alright, what was your favorite toy growing up? Oh, Barbie. Absolutely Barbie. Like, nothing was better than Barbie until 8th grade, I think. And honestly, you know what? The only reason I stopped playing with Barbies is because my best friend Molly, we played Barbies, and specifically Sailor Moon, because we both freaking loved Sailor Moon. I introduced her to it, and she loved it, and it was great. I still have my Sailor Moon dolls. It's, you know, I don't play with them, but I still have them. And I was in 6th grade. She was in 7th grade. She moved. And I wasn't that close with anybody else. And so I didn't play Barbies with anybody else. And by that point, I was kind of just like, it's not as fun on my own. It's just not. It wasn't for me. Maybe it's just because I don't have a good enough imagination. I don't know. I'm not sure. But after that, I guess it just became like video games and stuff. Yeah. Childhood toys keep their sentimental value for life. They do. Those Sailor Moon Barbie dolls, I still have them. So... 5. If you could time travel, when would you go? Oh, man. I mean, personally, as a woman, I don't really want to go to the past. Because, you know, we were not treated well. We're still not treated well, but it's the best it's ever been. And also, you know, going into the past, there's issues with paradoxes and messing up the timeline, and I don't want to mess up the timeline. So that's a no. Like, even if you told me there would be no repercussions no matter what time I go to, I still would rather go into the future. And I think I'd want to go... Honestly, I feel like I'd want to go really far. Like, at least 500 years. And it wouldn't necessarily be to see, like, oh yes, my great-great-great-great-great-grandkids or something, you know? I think it would just be to see how the world is doing. You know, like, the U.S. blew itself up because they're dum-dums. Or, you know, they became a superpower and the world is terrifying now. Oh, that would be terrifying. I think the future would be really interesting. Because I wouldn't know what to expect. I mean, for all I know, it isn't going to change much other than, you know, maybe we'll turn around and recycle better and pollution will go down, or maybe it'll get worse and global warming will have gotten worse. You know, I'm not sure. But I feel like the most interesting thing you could do when going to the past is to either, like, just see your ancestors, see how that went. You know, like, if I had the opportunity to meet my maternal grandfather, that would have been really cool, especially in his prime, because he did so much, it's ridiculous. Or, like, B, go to, like, a particular event, especially one where, you know, only the winner wrote about it. So you could go and see... my history is terrible, you guys, but just any event, basically, you could go and be like, wow, you know, it really actually did happen how he said, or, ooh, it was nothing like what he said. Like, I would not want to go anywhere near the Nazis, personally, because I feel like it's just going to be even worse than what we heard, and I don't want that. Although, even if it's not as bad as we heard, it's still going to be really freaking bad, and I don't want to do that to myself. Like, I love horror movies, I really do, but they're fake. It's just special effects and makeup. That I can deal with. Seeing an actual person, seeing that actually happen to them, I think that would traumatize me. I don't think I could handle that. Full disclosure. Like... just because I enjoy horror movies does not mean I am a psychopath. But, or, well, I guess it wouldn't necessarily make you a psychopath, because there are plenty of doctors who are able to just compartmentalize all of that and keep it separate. And they're not psychopaths at all. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm rambling again. Oh, that's David. I'm going to answer that. David is here now.
Yep, that was a very short thing that you had to handle. It happened almost instantaneously from the cut.
I know. It was like you just appeared in the house, and not like I had to drive and go bring you stuff or anything. Cause
hey, I fed you.
You have a wonderful memory, honey.
Yes, perfect.
The
like a steel trap.
Memory.
A very selective steel trap.
Okay. So, the last question I was on was, if you could time travel, when would you go? And I decided on my own that there are no paradoxes. If you go to the past, you will not affect anything. If you go to the future, you will not affect anything. And I decided I'd still rather go to the future. What would you want to do? Like, I feel like if I did go to the past, I would go to see ancestors or some spectacular, gigantic event. And I'd still rather go to the future.
10 years ago.
Why?
I can fix all the stupid mistakes that I did make and also wind up filthy rich because of the knowledge that I have. While not having to deal with the fact that, you know, I don't know what the world's going to be like.
But then you wouldn't have met me.
I'll meet you earlier. The first mistake I'll fix.
How would you have met me earlier?
I'll know where you were at.
Like 6 months earlier? Oh, you're just going to find me earlier in the timeline.
Yeah, see, it'll work.
Oh, see, I figured it was like a one-day affair. Like you're gonna go to the future, you're past to the future for one day.
Oh, just as a
you can't
tourist.
affect anything.
Oh,
yeah.
oh. So you don't have to live there, just a tourism thing. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's what I figured.
Do I get to know anything? Like, see, this is the problem. Is
you have all of the knowledge you have right now.
Well, no, not that I have right now. But so if you go to the past, you have a rough idea of what you're expecting.
Okay, well, if you decide, like, if I were to say, like, I want to see Patton's speech, like his most spectacular one, it would just take me to it. I don't have to decide date and time.
But my point being that if I go to the future, I don't really know what I'm getting.
Oh, I decided I just wanted to go like 500 years into the future. I just wanted to see how the Earth was doing. You know, if we destroyed everything, if America had taken control of the world, if pollution had killed all of us, you know.
The future would be interesting from that point, but there's definitely the pessimist in me that feels like, yeah, look, it's a bunch of dead rock, depending on how far you go.
I didn't talk about it before, but I did consider going like 50 years into the future. Like, am I still alive? How am I doing?
I mean, again, 5 years in the future, write down the lotto numbers. But,
if you can memorize them.
It's not hard.
Wouldn't go 5 in that case.
Okay.
I'd just go like a couple months into the future.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't really write down the lotto numbers. You memorize some good stock prices. But, yeah. I think Greece or Rome would be really interesting.
In the past?
Yeah.
Toga.
Well, we have such, not exactly romanticized, but like, I believe it's Greece. Which one's Caligula? That's Roman Emperor.
Roman, I think.
It's interesting because, without getting into all the things that he is accused of, it is apparently a sort of known thing that in Rome, once a person was no longer in power, what's the saying? History is written by the winners.
Yes. Oh, that's something I talked about.
It was really bad in Rome, especially, where like they really don't know how much to trust some of the stuff that they've read. Like, obviously, the broader strokes are good, but some of the like crazier or less appropriate stuff, it's a big question of, is that real? And just be interesting to actually see how those societies functioned, especially because they had like ads and commercials and whatnot. That's kind of an interesting thing, that you had a society that was so developed in so many ways while still so backwards in so many others, and yet just didn't have our tech, it'd be really, really interesting, I think, to kind of see it firsthand and how it was.
One of the things I talked about was like, the people who win are the ones who write history. But you started talking about other things that made me think that guy who was apparently like shot and hung and thrown in the frozen lake or whatever.
Rasputin.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. It'd be interesting to see, like, did those things really, truly happen to him? And it was, like, natural causes that he eventually died from? Or are we exaggerating? But I was also like, I don't really want to be traumatized by what I see, so...
Exactly, yeah.
All right, next question. 6. What's your best childhood memory? Ooh. What is my best childhood memory? I remember going to a few different amusement parks with my family in like middle school, elementary school maybe even. And there were a couple times when we played hooky and we went to an amusement park, all 5 of us. And like that was just so much fun because it was just a nice break. It was great. I don't know. Is that my best childhood memory? Do you know what yours is, or are you still thinking?
I'm not really good at best.
Yeah, I'm not either. I know worst, but I definitely don't want to talk about that because that's a downer. So.
Yeah, I have a few of those. I don't
have like a specific one though. Like I'm thinking of several different amusement parks. I don't know. I don't know. Shall we just move along?
Yeah, I don't have anything like super fun there. Like I have lots of good memories. I have lots of bad memories. Like I can't think of any one that I'm like really.
Yeah, that really stands out. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
7. What's your pet peeve?
Yes.
I don't like it when people leave the toilet lid or anything below it up It's gross to me. You flush your toilet and it gets everywhere, and that's just yuck. And then I like the toilet paper roll over, not under. And the good doctor has proven me correct. He said it's right. It's not something that I like, it's just right.
Who's Laura Bailey's husband?
What is his name? The guy who does Mustang. I don't remember his name. Why?
I was just curious.
I don't know. Look up the voice actor for Mustang.
I'm doing that now, yes.
Okay. He's funny. Why?
Because stuff that I will discuss with you after we're not recording. Not because it's bad or anything, it's just tangential as hell. So.
Okay.
Internet stuff.
Your pet peeve, honey. Oh my god, is your pet peeve that I talk about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood too much?
No.
Because I can't handle that in my life. I can't handle that kind of negativity, honey. I need to talk about Brotherhood.
What kind of, sadist do you think I am?
I don't know.
Or masochist.
You're not answering the question, though.
What was yours again?
The bathroom. Leaving the toilet lid up. Or the toilet seat.
Yeah.
And toilet paper being wrong.
I don't know. I have lots of little ones. I just can't think of anything off the top of my head.
You can list little ones.
No, I know. I'm just trying.
This is a learning experience.
Yes, dear.
This is a safe space.
Actually, it's kind of a weird one, but I don't think it's actually weird. Understanding conversation flow. I was really socially awkward for a long time. And even when I didn't appear to be socially awkward, and I don't just mean that I'm weird and I talk about nerdy stuff, but really shy and afraid and major social anxiety. And because of that, I tried to be good at helping others who clearly feel that. Mm-hmm. And I think there's really, really simple things. If you're having a conversation and it's clear somebody wants to talk, give them the chance to talk.
Yeah.
Or if you interrupt, or if someone else interrupts them, you can't always, punch that person in the face and go, no, so-and-so was going to speak. But at the same time, let them finish their story and then go, okay, cool, you were going to say something, right?
That's
and then
what I do.
Motion to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
I
that's
try to bring it back.
Such a small thing that helps conversation so freaking much for everybody.
Well, and then it helps the people who are shy, because, personally, once I get interrupted, I tend to just pretend that I forgot, and I move on, because I'm no one was interested. Because that's what I do. When I'm interested in what someone's about to say, if someone else interrupts them, I'm okay, David, what were you saying before about blah, blah, blah? Because I'm interested in hearing more. I want to hear what was going to be said. So when I'm interrupted, and then there's nothing, I'm okay, well, obviously no one wanted to hear what I said, or what I was going to say, so what's the point of bringing it back up and making it awkward?
Yeah.
Versus when you have even just one person in a group of 6 people, it's okay, well, this person and I can walk off and talk about our thing if literally no one else is interested, or everybody else can learn to shut up and listen when the quiet person is talking.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely a pet peeve of mine. I hate when people are constantly... Because it's always... at this point, I'm one of the loud people. So when it's one of the really loud people who talks a lot, constantly interrupting the same person, and never giving the shy, quiet person the chance to talk, it's you're just beating them down further.
Yeah, there's a lot of just... Yeah, that one definitely bugs me, and then there's also just... I don't know, not overreacting to things, I guess. People who just... Everything is always a big deal, and it's
everything is a crisis?
I know I'm... granted, I'm considered dramatic and whatnot, and I get that to an extent, but there's a certain kind of way where I'm just you're not helping you or anyone else when you do that, so, just relax. It's not...
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, these are, minor things. Oh, got my eye. I saw the puppy today, and the puppy I am allergic to. So.
She was so excited to see you.
Yes, she does enjoy causing me trauma.
She's a good pupper.
She is.
Oh, it says people can be annoying, but venting helps.
Yep.
Okay, 8. What personality trait has gotten you in the most trouble? I feel like speaking too freely is one of mine. Like, I get comfortable teasing others very quickly in a friendship, and some people don't realize that I'm teasing. They think I'm being mean. So, that's an issue. Or if I speak too openly about, like, other coworkers in front of my boss or whatever, they'll be like, yeah, you shouldn't say that. So, and it's not necessarily, like, I'm saying bad things about them. I'm just, you know, saying too much. Hello.
Sorry, there's a reason.
What personality trait has gotten you in the most trouble, handsome man?
God, which one to pick?
Oh!
Well, like...
You have like 10 seconds.
I guess to keep it shorter than then. Just my... Not exactly bluntness, but blasé-ness. Like, I'm the guy at work who will be like, well, we all know this is a disaster. Like, because it is, and we do. But there are people who do not appreciate that because they think it's either too negative or it's not helping or it's self-defeating. And there are other people who don't care. But yeah, that has definitely not always gone super well for me.
Yeah, we all have our issues. It's okay. We learn to live with them.
Am I your
Love
issue?
You? No. What? No.
You're learning to live with me, so I'm your issue.
You're such a dork.
And that is the end of more Tiny Stockings Candy Cane. I got 3 hours and 47 minutes of footage. My head's hurting. I almost smacked my face with that. That would have sucked. Alrighty, and I have one more to do. One more. And then, you know, I get to make all of them into ornaments, which takes a little bit of time, but that's okay. I'll get there. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next video.